Yo. Peace. Om Jitra Shitra Shivara Swaha Mahya Vajra rtaya Swaha Om Namah Samanta Vajra Namah Om Yata Shandara Jivata Swaha Om Srija rtaya Swaha. Vajra state. Formless, nameless, undefined. We're doing this together. While my body has a form, me as a spiritual being have no form. And I will practice this until my body remembers it has no form. Might take a while. Be patient. In the manifested world, obviously the body has a form. It is real. It is not an illusion. Just embrace that. Vajra state of being. Formless, undefined. Now with everything in my human being that seems to have form, I embrace it. Allow this Vajra states to flow in all your planes. Om Vajra rtaya Swaha. Good. A simple exercise. If you listen to old heavy metal, it can be, or intense music, not something new. Well, I recommend something older. Maybe it's my age. But the idea is to have a bit more social distance from the music, from the cultural imprint. So, Nirvana, Teen Spirit, or Metallica, Short Straw, or Shorter Straw, one of those. And you listen, after the class, later. You listen to the heavy metal, and you imagine yourself as a superhero. And you do this for 1 minute or two. and you are honest with yourself, allowing anything to rise, the images, how do you perceive yourself? And do not use the following teachings to prevent what rises. Just let it, see yourself as a superhero listening to this heavy music. If your first reaction is, but I don't like this music, it's too hard, then you can't do the practice. Listen to Elvis. Try it. Just kidding. Allow this passion to rise, and then you look at it. If there was anything about combat, seeing yourself as a superhero listening to this music, if there was any violence involved, that violence is still inside you. It was an option for your subconscious. Okay. If you see that you're super strong, and be honest, in that feeling powerful, was it, and people adore me or people love me? Just be honest. Was there this subconscious thing about I'm super powerful and they see it? And the attention grabbing is there. So I just gave example with attention and violence. Do it with any music you find hard, but not trash and noise, because that defeats the purpose. Something intense. And you see yourself as a superhero and you try to feel the power. What rises? And then you analyze everything that you have as an animal. Okay? Now breathe. Simply imagining yourself as a superhero, some of the arrogance will rise. Put intense music and it adds to the power trip. You can force your imagination to say, oh, I will be a just very compassionate being, but then it defeats the purpose of that technique. The goal is to let rise whatever would rise, and not force yourself, I'm going to be a hero with no mistakes, no arrogance. I mean, don't do the practice, go meditate. The goal is to reveal the flaws until you realize what is at the bottom of you wanting to be a superhero. You are a victim somewhere inside. Now we move to the actual teachings. Observe yourself as a victim. Yesterday in Rets, review the class if you need. We learned to be honest and stay sensitive to the density and the potential threat, violence, experience. Also to be available to the potential joy, emancipation, feeling of accomplishing something good. Just be vulnerable to the intensity and be well incarnate in this living, moving world. srija rtaya. The concept of ZAI. ZAI in Japanese means the elements. It has two aspects. To face them. You know, the expression to face the elements is to be affected by the world. The other aspect is use the elements. You affect the world. It goes both ways. Okay. The more inside you see yourself as a victim, well, every aspect inside that sees itself as a victim is locked into facing the elements and being affected by them. You can be wise enough to consider the possible hardship, difficulties of the world, without being a victim about it. You can be available, have faith, but be honest. What potential inside still see yourself as a victim? I practiced this morning, and there's stuff in my subconscious that sees me as a victim. It makes me want to complain. It makes me want to get more attention. I'll sit there, a bit like a Visantara on being a victim, just embracing these troubles I have and where I wish to complain, not to resolve the issue, but to use it, to use my issue to purchase something outside. Care, attention, justice. Let's be honest. Thanks, guys. It's a paradox. For the ego, it looks like a contradiction, but it's a paradox. To be vulnerable, available for any experience in nature, and have only faith about it. Trust evolution, build your skills, be wise and prudent, and not be a victim about it. The lessons of ZAI are simple. If you have understood a lot of the wisdom before. For martial artists, when they practice this, they see themselves as super powerful warriors. And whatever violence rises and need of recognition as a warrior rises, this is where they can use it to sink in that arrogance. It means that arrogance, the seeking of attention, the desire of power only for the greatness, for superiority, comparison to others. It means one day they would fight not for the people, but for themselves. It means somewhere they will fail at being in service, and thus not respond to their function in society. They would fight for them, for something they gain out of it. So this is where the warriors, they visualize themselves in succeeding hard combat trials. And then be honest. What rise? What did my arrogance produce? will I be able to stay virtuous in a moment of apparent violence during a combat? Will I stay focused on my task? I'm doing this for the better of society. So I hope that was inspiring for the warriors and the others. With ZAI, power arise, and it rises to the head. You know the expression, when it goes up to your head, the power goes up to your head. ZAI literally takes power and bring it to the head and express it. Get in touch with winning a challenge for the pure sake of destruction, for the vanity of superiority, for the recognition you get to be impressive to others. Either seeing yourself as a warrior, as a superhero, or someone with supernatural abilities. What do you wish really to accomplish with these various experiences of power? It is wise to be powerful. What inside will act out of hatred, pride? Just be honest with yourself. The first stage of this integration of personal growth is to see how you would use that power, and being honest enough to smell the little gases of poison from inside. And once you've grabbed them, know that this need of superiority, of pure crushing violence, of recognition from others, it hides something deeper, where you see yourself as a victim. And you need the hatred, you need the fantasies of the poisons of the existence to flee the weakness. It's all about being honest with yourself. On the surface, you will make an effort to visualize yourself as a perfect warrior in service with virtue. But that's when you practice consciously. That's what you really desire as a spiritual seeker, and it is an honest desire. But that practice now requires you to fantasize on pure power. Once you have it, it will get to your head and something will express itself. And you want to know, why would you enjoy power before you actually have it? If you gain any power before you gain that wisdom, it will happen. You'll fall on the trap. The ego is wise, secretive, it's mischievous. It will obtain what it wants to experience, to mask itself, of course. once you have some of the power, I'm speaking from experience, you'll have the virtue and the wisdom to catch yourself when the ego trip rises. But ego trip will rise. Oh yeah, that's how it is. In martial arts, I was always a newbie. I've been a newbie for 25 years or something. 35 years. Wow. Yeah, I've been a newbie for 35 years. That makes me feel so young. Just kidding. So I could look at the other warriors, proud and strong, and say one day I'll be powerful like that. My arrogance would rise, but I would not express it. Now in spirituality, it's another story. Even from the first day of training, I was the most skilled and powerful supernaturalist. Oof, the arrogance. And as a teen, I've allowed it to express itself. I was hoping to be seen as a powerful person. And it took me too long to realize I was seen as the arrogant asshole. The supernatural I expressed did not please or impress. It scared them. It was way too much for them. Listen, if you want the stories, you can listen to the 350 hours of video on my YouTube. They're free, at least. Gain lots of wisdom, and these stories, they probably are there somewhere. I hope to inspire you to be honest with yourself when you imagine yourself with great power, and allow this arrogance to rise so you can touch it, so you can see what is at the bottom of you. And then go deeper. What are you trying to mask with that arrogance? What are you a victim of? Because that world, as we learn in Retsu, it is fun and scary. This world, it is fun and scary. Visantara, it allows everything to rise at once, right? You focus in general, it takes some potentials, not focused. This is the awakening of the practice. Now incarnate the body. See if those potentials that build up during the teaching have caused separation from the body and yourself. Incarnate the body, see what resists. Just incarnate and feel it. Incarnation. In that Visantara of the violence and the victim, and a deep breath to blow off some pressure sometimes. Not always. Consider the possibilities that you have the power to manifest and create. Stay in touch deep with yourself and know the deeper passions within you, they express themselves and manifest. Okay. The mantra srija rtaya swaha. Okay. Srija is creates. Eva rtaya means in the most appropriate manner. Swaha. Be dedicated and honest about it. So Eva rtaya, it leads us to believe I have to find the most perfect way to create, or I have to find an appropriate way to do it. It is a good wisdom. Find an appropriate way or a virtuous way to accomplish what you desire. But the deeper layer of the meaning is nature will find the most appropriate channel or method to manifest. So the deepest passions you have inside you, the joyful ones and the hateful ones, they will find a way to express themselves in your nature, in the nature around you. You will manifest. You already do. The more power you cultivate and develop with spiritual tools or human tools, the more what is deep inside you will find a way to manifest. ZAI augments the manifestation power, the one that you consciously choose and the one that you subconsciously nourish. If you have done a lot of personal growth, most of your passions are caring, compassionate, kind, happy, loving. So don't worry about it. But some are about being a victim, hoping for recognition, wanting more love. I don't care what the others suffer if I satisfy my needs. There is greed somewhere. There always is somewhere. So your passions find a way to stir the forces of karma around you and in your life, and densify to the natural plane and manifest. By practicing this level of Kuji-in srija rtaya swaha, in the conscious mind, you're trying to be prudent and creative to find the most appropriate way to manifest something that you want. Be a good manager in business. Be a good artist, a good communicator. Develop skills, and the supernatural accompanies you in that. So that's the conscious application. Find the most appropriate way to create what you want. So consciously, nature will find a channel of causality within you to express itself and manifest. With those resources, the elements. Okay? Observe your neck and your jaw. The back of the neck here, your jaw, relax it. Relax. Imagine that, like muscles, there's like a muscle in third eye, but not physically. but it holds. Relax it. Relax the third eye like if it was a muscle. It's actually an organ on other planes, every other plane that has foam. And it's a muscle, so you relax it. And it will relax deep up to the center of your brain, okay? Relax the abdomen, relax the third eye. Om srija rtaya swaha. Depending on the Sanskrit background you have, it can be the sound sh, shrija, or the sound s, srija, or the cross, srija. Doesn't matter. As you practice, you find your comfortable okay, it's okay. For the Hispanics, it's not srija, it's srija, like when you say yo, okay? Srija. Eva, rtaya, swaha. Om srija rtaya swaha. So what is within me, it expresses itself outwards. Okay? From the third eye. Actually, it will be from any part of the being. We see it at the third eye because it rises and it expresses out into nature. Relax the third eye. Stay connected inside the abdomen. Humble and honest with yourself. Relaxing the third eye. You do it at level of third eye and then you bring your hands down comfortably, somewhat at the level of abdomen, okay? Om srija rtaya swaha. You relax. I did it forward, but because of the angle of the camera, it looks like I went up. Actually, I went forward. Okay, if I go like this, Om srija rtaya swaha. And then just keep it like this. So the triangle, the earth thumb grounds, and the fire index projects. Okay, so project in nature, the triangle expands, and all the other elements flow in that. Taking space, bringing cohesion and convection. Okay? Deep in the abdomen, relaxing the third eye. Om srija rtaya swaha. Let the power augment. Just be honest and humble. And now is not integration time. Now is manifestation time. So humbly relax the arrogance. And do not let yourself as a victim want to manifest. Be yourself as a creator. Want to experience. Don't focus on any plan. Just know that your creation power is augmenting. Om srija rtaya swaha. Consciously, to the best of my ability, I will find the most appropriate way to create and manifest in my life. And subconsciously, I will accept that this power will manifest my deepest passions. And most of these passions are kind, don't worry. You just have to be honest that there are power trips somewhere in there, okay? It's good. Do personal growth. Om srija rtaya swaha. Relax the shoulders and the biceps, the triceps. Just enough tension to keep the mudra on. And then relax. Om srija rtaya swaha. Om srija rtaya swaha. Om srija rtaya swaha. Two ways to end this mudra when we don't follow to Zen is to bring the prayer mudra or allow to expand. Relax. All right. Raven or any other, do not put all these mantras in the chat. They have learned them or they have not, okay? We just want to review. Hands together. Rin, okay? You don't have to say Rin, the syllable. This is just a Japanese classification. Om Vajra Manataya Swaha. See yourself formless, although your body has a form. Nameless, although your human refers by name. Undefined. De-identify to your identity. Okay. Om Vajra Manataya Swaha. Extend the index and you bring the major above and then the fingers inside. If you can't do this, just separate your hands, do the fake gesture, bring this together, okay? Om Mishanaya Yantraya Swaha. Personal growth makes me better. And review the previous class for the full teaching. Send the two little fingers, those go inside. Om Jitra Shitra Jvaradna Swaha. Discovering myself beyond identity reveals the true self. Go back to the Vajra state. Two central fingers go in. Shah. Om Haya Vajra Manataya Swaha. In this flowing Vajra undefined formless state, I'm in this world. Om Namah Samanta Vajranamha. Recognize everything in this world, formless and nameless, not slave of its identity, but self, pure consciousness. And where my identity ends and where the others start doesn't matter. The Vajra state flowing in all things, we are one. Going deep inside to the core of every little manifest thing. Om Agnaya Yanmaya Swaha. Recognizing and feeling the properties of everything manifest, flowing, impermanent. Left index up, right hand wrap to contact. Om Yota Hishandogaji Vatai Swaha. All these flowings, impermanent energies perceived and experienced through life. I embrace them, I face it truly and purely. Keep the index connected. Bring the thumb. Okay. From this state, Om Srija rtaya swaha. Every power always seeks to manifest in the most appropriate way, according to nature. You might want a river to go in a specific direction. Nature will erode its way any way it wants. That's the difference between what we consciously want to manifest and what our deep nature will manifest. You're responsible for making your deep nature a kind one. And we'll just go to meditation, Mudra, and relax. Incarnate the body. You can release the mudra and touch your lap to easily, or more easier, incarnate the body. Good. Movements happen in the subconscious. You can feel it convecting. Some of it is called turbulence. Some of it is called harmony. Both are convection. Potentials flow. Know yourself as powerful and be humble enough to admit what rises in this powerful quality. Know yourself as powerful. What is your ego wanting to use? What is your soul wanting to use in all that? Ultimately, soul as ego too. We're referring to the lower planes and the higher planes. Okay. But know yourself as powerful. That is good. Just make sure that when something arrogant rises, you admit it instead of pretend, oh no, I'm kind. Yeah, well, I'm kind and an asshole. Just be honest, okay? And embrace it. You know, annoying people don't attract much attention. Taking space using supernatural abilities, that does not really please others. What pleases others is what you contribute to the world. There are supernatural abilities that you cultivate and develop to be useful to the world. And there are some that you cultivate because it's just fun, and that too is acceptable. For the pure fun of it. while it has no impact on others, of course. But the power that the ego wants to develop to gain something out of it, to satisfy its pains, its traumas, its victim, its loneliness, its insecurities, all that. This you have to just stay in touch. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. And the power trip. Accept this power, don't judge it. The judgments will rise. You'll grow from working on yourself. This is how it is. Every saint eventually dies of something. Have a good day.